Hello. Hey, I'm Dr. Bill,
And I'm Ted.
and we're going to talk today about a wine we touched on a little bit on our last video, and that's Savignon Blanc. Really excited about this wine because it's grown pretty much all across the world. And we want to taste some examples from France, from Oregon, and from New Zealand. Ted, the one that you have closest to you is one I think you're familiar with from your shop.
Absolutely. This is Whitehaven, New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. And the thing that I love about New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs is, basically that distinct flavor that you get with a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, which is kind of like eating a big bowl of pink grapefruit. And this is a fantastic, example of that. It's kind of a funny way of describing it. But the way you describe a lot of New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs is that on the nose, they're going to kind of smell like cat pee. And then on the palate, they're going to basically taste, like I said, like, big pink grapefruit, but still delicious and great and crisp. What do you think, Doc?
Like what you've talked on, Sauvignon Blanc is known as one of the most aromatic of the white wines that's raised. The next one we're going to talk about is from Oregon. And it's kind of got a catchy name. It's called Sweet Cheeks. And I'll leave the reason for the naming up to your own imagination. But from Oregon, this is grown near the Rogue River, which is a spot that I actually had a chance to raft several years ago. And so if the wine is as good as the fun rafting it, plus they grow a lot of grass there.
Yeah. Of many kinds.
So. Yeah, kind. So we're going to taste that. And then the third is kind of what's felt to be the real home and the heart of Sauvignon Blanc, and that's from the Loire Valley. This is from the Upper Loire, which is a long river that runs east and west and south mid France. So we're going to taste each one, talk about them a little bit, and hopefully whet your appetite, because all of these are available at your local wine shops and expand your experience with Sauvignon Blanc. Ed, would you mind starting with your over there?
Absolutely. Like I said, we're going to start out with the little New Zealand Whitehaven Sauvignon Blanc and pour Doc a little taste here if I don't get it down the side of his glass. Pour myself a little taste as well. So, and as always, the nose knows. So let's start out
with the color.
Color in there and give it a good little smell. Get a little bit of that.
It's got some grass color, grass smell to it. They say it's a distinctive Marlboro aroma, and that's not the cigarette.
No. Great little crisp pink grapefruit. This is a fantastic, picnic, summertime, wine. A little dryness on the back end, certainly refreshing, from beginning to end. Doc?
It really is. It's fairly high in acid, which shows that it's grown in a kind of more northerly, cooler climate. That's something that's pretty characteristic with Sauvignon Blancs. Let's look at the next one.
The next one is Sweet Cheeks, Oregon Sauvignon Blanc. And I'll actually tell you a little secret why they call it Sweet Cheeks, because if you look out from the vineyard house out into the vineyards, they have two mounds in their vineyard that kind of look like a sort of sweet cheeks, butt cheeks. So I'm gonna try this out, see what we think. There you go. What do you think about that, Doc? I see a little bit more, kind of more of a straw color.
Just a little more straw to it. There's a little less evergreen smell to me. It's still a fresh, kind of herbal.
Well, it's crispy, yeah, but definitely a little bit more herbal, a little less citrus. I don't know, kind of one of the first things that hits me is it doesn't seem like it's quite as acidic and a little bit more kind of melon rindy than it is.
Yeah,
certainly
it sure is.
Grapefruity.
Maybe just a little bit more balanced. Got a decent finish, but there's definitely a difference. I'll take either one.
Both are great.
Now, a third bottle, I've already taken the liberty to put my Corvin in here through the cork. This is a Puy Fumé, and it's from the Loire Valley in France. It's La Billandière. That's close. I hope it is. And let's give that a try.
Mm-hmm. Doc's being good and proactive here because he's already got 2 other bottles of wine that that are open that will maybe forced to finish, and so I thought he might want to save the Puy Fumé for maybe later on for maybe he and his bride.
So
now Puy Fumé, like Doc said, that's from the Loire Valley, but that's also where you have like your what they call Sancerres, which is a very, very, very small region in the Loire Valley where you have pretty much the pinnacle of where Savignon Blanc is made. So
the 2 areas that are close together in the upper Loire. The color, not too much difference. Still a little bit gold.
Mm-hmm.
Nose, I get more mineral.
I do too. That's one of those things.
Less herb and less grass. And that's kind of characteristic because this is grown in an area that has a tremendous amount of limestone.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have a deeper root system and more minerality.
Beautifully inviting nose, though. Just makes you want to taste it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's certainly the better balance of the 3.
I believe so. Puy Fumé is also a lot of times we'll see just a little kiss of oak, in there. Whereas all the New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs and a lot of the left coast Sauvignon Blancs, like the Oregon Sauvignon Blanc that we tasted, or a lot of the California Sauvignon Blancs will be essentially just stainless steel fermented. They don't see any oak whatsoever, on there. Whereas a lot of Puy Fumés, you're having just a little touch of oak, but it's just enough just to basically add balance. It's not really there to add flavor. So,
and I did try to find out the techniques. I found out more about the California and the New Zealand. There's just how much oak, if any, is utilized with the Loire. Moment, I'm going to finish and enjoy this glass of wine.
Me too. I want to leave my man Doc, drinking alone. So, cheers.
I hope that we've given you some information that whets your appetite and your taste. The cost of these wines is manageable, and hopefully when you go to your wine shop next time, you may decide to take a couple of bottles with you. What do you think, Ted?
I think it was great, and I love Sauvignon Blanc. I think Sauvignon Blanc is the perfect, summertime, white wine for me. It goes great with any types of cheeses or any type of white meat or especially seafood. So hopefully you've enjoyed them, and like I said, none of them are really very expensive. Should be able to find a nice New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc like the Whitehaven for around $19-20 a bottle. Sweet Cheeks is about the same. A lot of the left coast Sauvignon Blancs will run anywhere from $10 to $20 a bottle. Maybe if you get into a Napa Sauv Blanc, might be kind of mid-20s or something like that. And then
25.
About 25 to 30 on the Puy Fumé. So, you're not breaking the bank on any of them, but you're certainly not sacrificing any quality either.
And you may be seeing something new on this video that I hadn't shown before, because I've been searching for a way that I can maintain the bottle temperature of the wines, because I try to serve them at the appropriate temperature. I don't want my white wines to be real cold. I want them to be chilled at about 55 degrees. But once you've taken them and opened them and put them on the table, very quickly they're going to be 70 degrees. And it's going to change the character of the wine. So I was able to happen onto these chillers, which is simply a double layer of acrylic that I put in the refrigerator to chill, then took this wine out, put it in. So it's not meant to chill the wine, it's meant to maintain the temperature of the wine. So there's several different ones around. I think they're pretty good ideas. Thanks a bunch for joining us. We're going to go back to Europe in the next 1 or 2 videos, talk about my travels, and then we're going to bring up some other pretty neat ideas about wines to enjoy the rest of the summer and early fall. Thanks for joining us. If you've got questions, if they've had wines that you enjoy, please put them in the comments so you can share it with others and share it with us too. So, Ted,
Thank you very much. As always, like, comment, subscribe.